Thank you, President Metsola, dear Roberta, dear Minister Beck, honorable members. Yesterday we saw again Russia's targeted attacks against civilian infrastructure, and this is marking a new chapter in an already very cruel war. The international order is very clear. These are war crimes. Targeted attacks on civilian infrastructure with a clear aim to cut off men, women, children of water, electricity, and heating with the winter coming. These are acts of pure terror, and we have to call it as such. This is a moment to stay the course, and we will back Ukraine for as long as it takes. And we will protect Europeans from the other war that Putin is waging. This is his war on our energy. I know that Europeans are concerned about inflation, concerned about their energy bills, concerned about the winter. The best response to Putin's gas blackmail is European solidarity and European unity. And in this spirit, the Commission agreed yesterday on a strong legislative framework to address the energy crisis. So let me outline the main points to you. The first one is as logic as important. Instead of outbidding each other, Europeans should buy gas together. Very simple. So for this, we will purchase together gas at EU level. Aggregation of demand will be mandatory for at least 15% of the volumes needed to fill gas storages. And the companies involved may form a gas purchasing consortium. We do this because we've learned the lesson. We literally saw in August of this year, at the height of the filling season, how member states were outbidding each other and thus driving really up the prices. So we definitely can be smarter on that one. Pooling our demand is a must. My next point is about sharing gas in Europe. We know that some member states are more directly exposed than others to Russian gas. The situation is especially challenging for landlocked countries in Central Europe. But in the end, if you look at our single market with highly integrated supply chains, a disruption in one member state has a massive impact on all member states. So sharing gas is absolutely critical. Member states have already since 5 years an obligation under EU law to conclude solidarity agreements with their neighbors in a region where they are located. However, if you look at what has been concluded so far, of 40 possible solidarity agreements, only 6 have been concluded. So this is simply not enough in times of a crisis like this one. And this is why we will put in place default rules for member states. These rules will be binding as long as member states do not conclude individual solidarity agreement. Energy solidarity is a fundamental principle of our treaties, so let's bring that to life. It's very simple. Honorable members, these 3 measures, pooling, saving, sharing, will have a positive impact on the prices, but of course more needs to be done. More needs to be done to address the price spikes and to address the Russian manipulation of the energy market. Just to give you 2 figures, compared to last September, in September 2021, if we look now at September 2022, Russia has cut 80% of its pipeline gas supplies since then. But Europe has been able to compensate all that. We have diversified towards our trusted partners, like, for example, Norway and the United States. We have increased the savings, and it's good. We have in September a saving of minus 15%. We have filled our storages up to 92%. So we did not give in to this blackmail. We made it, and I think we can be proud of that. We resisted. That's important. But we also see that resisting the Russian energy coercion comes at a price. European families have seen their gas bills skyrocketing. And our companies are struggling to keep up competitiveness. It's not about the competitive in the single market only, that's also important, but it's also about the competitiveness globally that our companies are fighting for. You might recall that in March, we proposed to Council the option to cap gas prices. At that time, this did not gain any traction, but today we're coming back to this. So what is the model? The current benchmark determining gas prices is TTF. TTF is only focused on pipeline gas. What we see now is that the market has really changed from pipeline gas market to LNG market. So we need a specific price benchmark for LNG. The Commission will now develop this complementary benchmark together with the European regulator, but this takes time. So in the meantime, as a stopgap measure, we will limit prices at TTF. We call this the market correction mechanism. Yesterday, we proposed guiding principles as a first step, and on this basis, we will prepare the operational mechanism in a second step. This is concerning the price cap at wholesale level. But gas also drives electricity prices up. And here the Iberian model comes into play. It really merits to be considered at EU level. There are still questions to be answered, but I want to leave no stone unturned. So let's face that, let's look at that, and let's work at that. Honorable members, we live in times of high economic uncertainty. And I am, as I said, concerned about the competitiveness of our economy, not only what the single market is concerned, but also what the global competitiveness of our economy is concerned. So, all our actions have to take this into account. All our actions have to take the competitiveness of our SMEs and our industry into account. And this includes that we will introduce a standard competitiveness check in our regulation. I think it is time to do that.